And if it should be this one.
One, 6, 9, 4, 6, 3, 5. Oh, we got a winner. Yep. $109.
Wow. I didn't get your name, and I know Jeff. Jeff? Oh, of course, Jeff Page. All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
I guess it's now we'll have an introduction to the speaker.
Good morning. I don't think you am I on?
Yep.
I don't think you expected to see me up here again now that I'm no longer on the committee, but I couldn't resist the opportunity to introduce our Brian Mcdonald. Brian has been a member, he's as you know from what Doug said, he volunteered to be our fallback speaker, and it wasn't called on, so he's speaking today. We talked a bit about volunteers when Ron was appealing to us, and indeed Brian is an exemplary volunteer. He said he was introduced at about age 8 by his own father to volunteering, and he's been doing things like scouts, church, community work, and this has led to a very fulfilling series of adventures in his life. Brian's topic today is public speaking, and who is more qualified? Brian has been a member of the Toastmasters International since 2004, served as district director, a volunteer leader of Toastmasters for the whole of District 61 with 190 clubs, and he's earned 2 distinguished awards for international excellence in leadership. In addition to all this, Brian is a computer expert. In fact, he's been involved since 1972 with computers. I didn't think they existed back then. And he's supporting about 11,000 Toastmaster clubs through websites. In addition to all that, he's going to be our president this coming year. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Brian and look forward to what you have to tell us about public speaking. The mic's off.
Thank you, Pam. Now, we do have something we do in Toastmasters, and that is we keep track of our time, because God help us if we ever let a Toastmaster free on the mic without the timer. There we go. All right, public speaking. Why do we fear it? Why do we do it? I don't know. Let's get a couple of things out of the way first. Everybody has a heart on their table with a little saying in it. Did everybody get one? Did everybody read it? You want to thank Victoria? She brought them all. She wrote them all. Now, is there anyone that has one that they feel is really good? Hand up. Will you please read yours?
Roses are red, violets are blue. My world is brighter because I have you.
My world is brighter because I have you. Believe it or not, that's his introduction to public speaking. That's how easy public speaking really is. Now, everybody talks about public speaking in their own way because they're terrified of it. Here we go. What is it? It's sharing ideas. It's sharing your ideas, your interpretation of something. It can be anything. It can be somebody else's work, your interpretation of a book you've read. Book clubs. Guess what you do in a book club? You do public speaking when you review the book. Public speaking is in your everyday life. Now, most of us didn't go through this in our elementary school days, but currently I understand they drag them up kicking and screaming to give reports as part of the school curriculum now. God, I wish they had done that. We had something we called show and tell. Everybody remember show and tell? Public speaking at its finest. You were trying, how about what my daddy does for a living? How many remember those days? Okay, you were informing and you were persuading people that your daddy had the best job. Public speaking. Why does everyone fear public speaking? Because they care. They care about what other people think of them once they open their mouths. Of course, there's all the sayings that go along with, if you keep your mouth quiet, nobody has a doubt of how smart you are. If you open it, they're positive how dumb you are. Right. Are you nervous? Talk about butterflies. I love butterflies. Butterflies get you active. They make you know what parts of your body are actually alive. And at our age, God, that's useful. Fear of judgment. We have all earned the right at our age to say, I don't care what you think. I've been around long enough to know what I think. And here's my opinion. Take it or leave it. But if you're standing in front of me, you're gonna hear it. It has a name. Public speaking actually has, the fear of public speaking actually has a name. Glossophobia. The fear of public speaking. Now, I don't know of a lot of people who are actually afraid of public speaking because I'm a Toastmaster and I hang around with people that do a lot of public speaking. But when people come to our clubs to start, we don't tell them to do anything. We don't ask them to do anything except sit and listen. Now, sooner or later, we're going to hit a nerve. And they're going to want to say something. And they're going to want to participate. And boy, do we have the hook set then. I set the hook today. I just asked a simple question. I got somebody to stand up and participate in public speaking. That's how easy it is. Now, public speaking becomes very important through your life, especially if you have to work for a living. And I don't care what kind of job it is. You've got to be able to present your ideas and present yourself. And if you're afraid to do that, it usually impacts how far you go in whatever career you've decided to go. I don't care if you're a contractor, a carpenter, a high-paid executive, because you've got all sorts of letters after your name, but if you can't stand up and express yourself and get your ideas across, you're going to end up hitting a brick wall. So public speaking, believe it or not, although it is one of the highest measured fears, it really is very, very important to all of us. Now, we're all at an age, I hate to say this, but we end up going to births, and we've got to congratulate the parents. We go to graduations, and we got to graduate the kids. We go to their marriages, and we have to congratulate them. We go to the first birth, and the confirmation, and the baptisms, and we're congratulating again. And if we can stand up and say 10 words, those people remember that we were there. And that is something that we, as a group, sorely want to happen, is we don't want to be forgotten. So standing up and doing a little public speaking, even if it's only 10 words, you will set memories in motion that will last their lifetimes, not just yours. Do you know how to get rid of embarrassing memories? Talk about them. The best way to tell humor that you're not going to offend anybody else in the room is to tell it about yourself. I don't care if you're white, yellow, black, striped, checkerboarded, pink dots. If I tell a joke, it's going to be about me, and you will either laugh at me, you will laugh with me, or you will laugh because it's not you. So take your embarrassment, turn it around, have some fun with it, and enjoy being up in front of a few people. You don't have to be nervous. There is nobody in this room that I would be afraid to say, sorry, I really don't care about your opinion because I was saying something important to me. If it's not important to you, okay. But I'm not going to be embarrassed about it. It is my opinion. It is my version of the story. It is how I interpreted my life. So don't be afraid to express yourself. Work around it. Work through it. And guess what? You all have voices. I've heard them. I've heard them all through coffee. I've heard them all in the mornings when you're walking in. You all enjoy talking to one another. 1 and 1 is easy. 1 against 50 is 1 against 400 is easier than 2, believe it or not. Social anxiety. No. There's no such thing as social anxiety. The only anxiety is the ones you create for yourself. It's your feeling here that's causing the anxiety. So when you're getting up and been asked to speak at your best friend's funeral, which is something a lot of us are going to have to be doing in the next few decades. I've already done 5, and I've got a ways to go yet. We shouldn't be afraid to do it. We should be proud to do it. Because somebody has seen something in you that they want to hear about your friend. So if somebody asks you, could you say a few words about your friend, your relative? That's an important piece of your future. And it's going to be an important piece of your memory. My father died 15 years ago. I gave the eulogy. My relatives still talk to me about it. Because it's what they remember about me. Talking about my father. It's not what George said down the street that's important. So don't be afraid of other people's opinions when it's something that's dear and true to your hearts. Get up, be proud, be loud, and share a smile. I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. Types of speeches. Okay, we've been talking about that a little bit. Informative. Teachers do a lot of informative speaking on a daily basis. Politicians do a lot of persuasive speaking on a daily basis. You know, some of them are good at it, some of them aren't. Entertaining. You could hear some of the best stories about life in general by listening to comedians who tell life stories. They don't swear. They don't knock anybody except the people around them in their lives, and everybody who is part of their lives already knows they're going to be a target. So they're not offending anybody. Demonstrative. Do you really, really want me to get that way? No. The cooking channels. How many of you on a daily basis or a weekly basis watch a cooking show? How about YouTube? All those guys earning money by telling you about their lives on YouTube. Oh, I built a house. I built a hot tub sauna out of a cow tub. Yes, and they get paid for it. If you can think of all the things that you did when you were a teenager, got away with it, had a blast doing it, and turned it into a story, you would be the best entertainer at your family's next Christmas party. And we already talked about ceremonial. Now, part of ceremony, there's a little bit that goes with it. And if you listen to some of the greatest speakers of our time, and I'm talking about, politicians, and believe it or not, men of the cloth and women of the cloth. They speak with purpose. No matter what story they're telling, if they're a storyteller, you're going to remember them more. Who was the best U.S. president storyteller in our remembrance time? He was an actor. Reagan. He told stories to get his point across. And they weren't threatening stories. They were, most of the time, they were humorous. But he told stories because he wanted people to listen to him while he was trying to get them to think about something important. We have one of our own. In my lifetime, I remember him quite well. Our famous pet, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, one of the best speakers in Canada's history. Now, you don't have to agree with what he was talking about. That's different. But if you listen to what he had to say, he said it very well. He got a message across, and he attracted a lot of people to listen to him. And he got a lot of opinions. How many politicians do you know these days that get away with fuddle-duddle? He survived fuddle-duddle a dozen times in the House. Because people wanted to hear what he had to say once you got the fuddle-duddle out of the way. Okay, we're going to have some fun, and we're leading into it. Every speech should have an introduction. I'm going to tell you this today. It should have a body. All the things that are involved in my speech today. It should have a conclusion, which is telling you what I told you already, but in a summarized fashion. That way, you've told people the same information, different ways, 3 times. Now, to get it through most of our thick heads, the rule is 7 times, 7 ways. If you can get through to 30% of your audience by doing it 3 times, 3 ways, you've done pretty good. brain mapping, how to get all this stuff in here onto a piece of paper or in a computer or out in the air. Brain mapping is connecting ideas together so you get a flow. I think about this. I don't like getting wet. Why don't I like getting wet? Well, I got wet when I was a kid and it really hurt. And you say, why did it really hurt? You take it to the next step. I had eczema as a kid and I was a walking piece of hamburger. So getting wet was very sore. So I've mapped 3 independent items together to form a string, a neuron flow, whatever you want to call it, as a brain map. You can do that with almost everything. And if you're not good with brain maps, because they can get a little messy, like all of our brains. Because I don't know about you, but I've always got about a dozen things going on, and that's a quiet day. The other one is the tree method. You take an idea, a central idea, and you put it down and you spread it out as the branches on a tree, and each leaf becomes a separate topic that you're going to talk about. Now, I don't know about you, but the last tree I saw before the leaves fell had a couple of 1,000 leaves on it. So that can get pretty complicated. So what I like to do is get it down to the rule of 3. You take one idea and you say 3 things about it. Then you move on. It works very good for slides. Can everybody in this room read that slide? It doesn't have the Constitution of the United States on it. It has 3 lines, nice big fonts. And those are the way that most slides should be. 3 things, 3 ideas. Each one of those slides can become another slide, and you talk about it. But as you talk through the slides, you got to remember 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. All of a sudden, you have speaking time. So that's why you never give a Toastmaster the mic without a timer. Everything has a rule of 3. A beginning, a middle, an end. A problem, a resolution, a result. Present, past, future. Now, if you think about all things having 3s, when you start speaking, you start looking for things that fit together as 3s. And they're called triads. And triads are a great way to get a piece of information in somebody's head, because they usually rhyme. And, see? They usually rhyme. And it makes it a lot easier to remember when you've given somebody something that rhymes. It just flows, makes it easier to remember. So if you can find a triad in your discussion, you'll do better. But never go to your boss with a problem without the other 2. Because he isn't going to listen to you. But if you say, hey, I found this, I did this, I got this, I think if we implement it, we might have a little more success in this area. He's going to listen to you. Because you had a problem, you found a solution, you've shown what the solution does. All he's got to do is say yes or no. Oh, by the way, you never ask permission to do the second one. You just do it, get it done. All right, how do I know all this? Practice. Years and years of practice. Watching people who wouldn't say a single solitary word coming into a Toastmasters meeting to the point where we had to take the mic away from them because they wouldn't shut up. Yes. Practice, practice, practice. And that's out loud. It's great reading it something out in front of you, your speech, write it out, read it. No. You have to speak it out loud when you're going to public speaking. That will help you immensely. And I don't care who you do it to. It can be your best friend, it can be your worst friend, it can be your dog. Dogs are great because they always go. But practice. Use your new highfalutin technology and record yourself giving your own little talk. Think about how it looked. Think about what was said. It works. It makes it easier to continue to speak out loud in front of people. Know your audience. I am my audience. All of you. We share so much. We've shared a lifetime together. We've lived through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decades, most of us. Some 7, some 8. Know your venue. What time was I here this morning? 8:15. Did I have to be here at 8:15? No, but I got to feel the room. I got to feel the people as they came in. I got to check out that everything was where I needed it to be. I was relaxed because I didn't have a worry. I made sure Paul had my presentation before he was setting up, so he didn't interrupt his workflow. Be relaxed. Make sure you don't have anything in your way to stop your presentation. I have a bunch of notes. They look just like the slides, and they're printed as big as the slides. I don't have to pick up the paper to read it. I can go to any page and see it. This is the size of the font you should be using when you're bringing notes to a podium to read. Because you don't have to squint, you don't have to find your place, you just read it. Make it easy on yourself. All right, here's the exercise. It's Valentine's Day, and I'd like to ask my Vanna White to come up to my board, please. And I'm going to ask some of you for some ideas. And the topic today is love. Very good. We want to talk about past, present, future, and most memorable. And we're going to take 3 of each, and I will make a speech out of that right now and give it to you as my closing gift on Valentine's. All right, who has a favorite past love? Over here. Anybody? Past love. Yes. Your husband, okay? Past mate. How about a future love? Somewhere in the middle here. Something you really would love to do. Something you would really love to experience.
Go to Ireland.
Go to Ireland. Travel to Ireland. No, that's future.
Oh, where's the future? Down here?
Yeah.
Travel to Ireland.
What about a present love? Come on, yeah.
A new grandchild.
A new grandchild.
What's that go? Present?
Present. Who has the most memorable love? Something above all others. Come on, somebody.
First love.
Your first love. And we're not going to tell your husband about that. All right, let's go back to past love again. How about over here? One of these 2 tables. Past love. Come on. Linda's got another one. All right, Linda.
My dog.
A dog, a pet. All right. Well, we need another present. Another present. How about over here? Somebody over here for another present? Present love?
Kayaking.
Kayaking. All right.
Another
Here?
I didn't know either. All right, how about another most memorable? Come on, people, please. Yes.
For me, it's just recent. My daughter surprised me last week. She said, "Mom, we're going out on Saturday." We ended up at Red Lobster and we feasted. And she said, "Mom, this is on me for Valentine's."
There you go. All right, most memorable, a date with my daughter or sibling or whatever what's the child called? Child. Offspring, that's a good word.
And I said, "You have to do this every year now."
Oh, now you're setting expectations.
Why not?
Let me see, we need one more future. Anybody got a future love that they want to tell us about? Yes, come on, somebody over here. Anybody? Oh, there we go.
A pancake breakfast.
A pancake breakfast. Okay, with real maple syrup. All right, we've spent enough time doing this. I'm just going to launch right into it. Okay, give me another color.
That one works.
Okay, so now the task for me is to tell you something about my life using those 4 circled topics. Now, I want to talk to you today, this afternoon, depending on where you are in this world today, about a couple of things that are happening to me, for me, and because of me. And today I think I will start the story off about my little frog. When I was young, quite young, I guess I was still in Vancouver, so it was before grade 5, me and my buddies were outside playing, and they all had dogs, but I couldn't have a dog. I was one of these kids who was really allergic to everything, literally everything. So my mother took pity on me and she got me a tree frog. I could have a tree frog because it didn't have feathers, it didn't have fur, and it didn't have dandruff. So I had a pet tree frog. And I made it a nice little home in a cardboard box lined with plastic, and had rocks in a bowl, and it would like to climb up the sides, and it would hop, and I would take him out and play with him. So one day I took him out back to show him off to my friends, and we were sitting on the picnic table and we were playing with him, but we were outside in Richmond, BC in the springtime, and I don't know if you know about Vancouver in the springtime, but there were lots and lots of mosquitoes. So guess what our mothers did? They slathered us in mosquito dope. And mosquito dope at that time had lots of DEET. Well, it was on our hands, and the little frog stopped moving. So we all thought he was dead. Now, being young men, we figured we would have a funeral. So we got a little plastic case and we buried the frog. And we left him there. And 2 weeks later, we were a little curious, what happens to a frog after you bury him? So we dug him up. Lo and behold, the frog was buried. He was breathing. The inside of the case was all steamed up. We opened the case and he hopped out. And we changed his name. Can you guess what it was? Jesus. That's how my childhood was summed up very quickly. Now, my introduction to this beautiful area was when my parents decided to build a cottage on Dog Lake. It was supposed to be a place that we could go and, on the weekends, my parents would retire there. And they started putting it together, and they got an architect to draw it and everything. And the architect in my parents' bedroom, in the closet, put drive-in closet. Not walk-in, drive-in. Gets you an idea of scale. This house had 3 full bathrooms. In every bedroom, it had a sink. It had 2 fireplaces, 2 living rooms, a kitchenette and a kitchen, and a huge dining room. It was the tables in the dining room, it was 14 feet long and 4 feet wide. It wasn't a cottage anymore. But it was right on the lake. And my brother found an old canoe somewhere one time and said, let's go canoeing. Guess what day it was? The day after the ice went out of the lake. So we put on our life jackets. Something was working. We got in the canoe. Now, neither of us are proficient canoers in any way, shape, or form. And we decided to just paddle around the island that was attached to my father's property. Well, we got out about 10 feet and the wind caught the canoe. And it went right over. I have never screamed that high in my entire life. Things were cold that shouldn't be cold. I then learned that I do not know how to keep my balance any better at age 20 than I did at age 14 when I tried to learn how to ride a bicycle. I have not been in a canoe since. Future travel to, no, it's the pancake breakfast. When did it come up? Okay. Pancake breakfast brings back all sorts of memories, but I would love to bring back those memories into the current day. Now, I've been to Shrove Tuesday pancake breakfast many times with my parents going to church and stuff. And I've made pancakes for the family on special holidays when we were all together. But the biggest pancake breakfast I remember is one time at the Montreal West Curling Club, they used to ask me to cook breakfast during the bonspiel. There'd be 150 hungry curlers and ready to eat breakfast. So making approximately 800 pancakes, along with the sausage and bacon and croissants and jam. And we came up with an idea to make 6 dozen eggs at a time. What we did is we cracked the eggs in muffin tins and threw them in the oven and brought them out that way. And that way we could have medium eggs for a pile of people all at once, no waiting. And they stayed warm in those trays. We had fun. It was especially fun drinking the orange juice and vodka that everybody kept playing with us as we were cooking breakfast. First love. Now, all of us have that little special place that we hide the most special memories. And we keep them very, very quiet and very, very protected. And we're always afraid that somebody will steal that from us because it's ours and we really don't want to share it. Now, first loves are things that are so important to people. They don't talk about them. But in the quiet of the night, when the wind is just right, they hear that little voice that says, remember me? Remember when? Do you remember that time when? Do you remember where we were? Do you remember what I said? Those moments become the most protected and special parts of our lives forever. And the first love will never forget her or it or whatever the time or place or pet or person. It hit a string that vibrates just at the right time and the right phrasing that says, I'm here and I will always be here. I want to thank you all for paying attention. You're a great audience, and I look forward to serving you next year.
Brian, that's a very hard act to follow. But I'm going to follow it with giving you a little gift. Big surprise. Here's the bread. Would you like to ask the question?
Why bread?
I haven't memorized this. Bread has been a staple of life throughout history, has been seen in many forms in every culture. The breaking and sharing of bread is symbolic of life, peace, and friendship. There's three things. This loaf of bread is given to you as a symbol of our friendship, and thank you for sharing with us today.
I've said my piece. It's your turn to say yours.
Now you know what to look forward to next month, next year. All good.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks,
That was
Brian.
great.
Oh, my notes. Anyway, this concludes our February general meeting, and I'd like to adjourn the meeting, but ask that you stay for announcements. And we have three, and if the three people would come up, I don't know who they all are now. Oh yeah. Oh, good. So we'll start with Denise.
Good morning. I'm just here to remind you or tell you about two activities happening at Grace United Church in February. On February 17th, we're having our pancake supper. It starts at 4, from 4 to 6:30. We have pancakes, real maple syrup, sausage, and ice cream for dessert. And it's a free will offering, so bring your friends and come and join us for our supper. Second is called Edna's Cafe. And Edna's Cafe has been going on for a couple of years at Grace United. I'm going to be speaking about that later on this year, but Edna's Cafe is an afternoon of singing. Our organist, our pianist, Paul Harding, is there to accompany us. We sing the old favorites that people remember. It's geared to people with dementia or Alzheimer's and their caregivers, but it's open to anyone in the community who just likes to sing. We have UCW, if you know, UCW bakes, and there's never an event at Grace United without something to eat. So we have treats and tea. That's going to be happening on Wednesday, February the 18th. It starts at 1:30, and we would love to have people come and join us to sing some of the old favorites, and bring any friends that you may know. Thank you very much.
Hi, I want to thank all of our dancers that came yesterday. We had a lot of fun. We learned some new moves and new dances, and it was great fun. And I'd like to let you know that there's a dance in Gananoque Legion on the 21st. That's a Saturday, and the band is called The Spectators, and it's from 1 to 5. So Saturday, the 21st, and I believe the cost is $15, so come and practice some of your line dancing, and others who just want to cuddle and dance. It's going to be good music. And also the Martin Community Center on Sunday the 22nd. It's always a good dance there, and it starts at 1:30 till 4:30, and always a little snack of some kind to have. And it's Tim Hallman and Terry Hoffman, and it's cost of $15. So come and join us for some good dancing on that weekend, the 21st and the 22nd. Thank you.
A word from your events committee. We did sign up today for the Colors of Latin American Music at Grace United, happening on February 25th at 7:30 p.m. We need 20 people signed up in order to get our discount. We have 19. So please, somebody, see me at the back table before you leave today. Also, if you were one of the people that was interested in looking at an overnight trip with Probus, could you please hang back with me for a few minutes and I'll show you what we're looking at. Thank you.
Thank you all. We'll see you next month.